Back at it with Brew Crew Territory, Braun, Kratz, and let's start off, Kratzy, with a congrats to Devin Williams, who's been a stud for years and deserves to be at the All-Star game again. And there you go. The teammates clap it up. He's been one of the more consistent relievers and now closers in baseball since Hader was traded. And spoiler alert, Josh Hader's joining us on the show later. But anyway, congrats to D-Will.
Yeah, no doubt. Anytime you can get a guy like this that's going to step in, maybe kind of facilitated a little bit of the Hader trade. Not to harp on bad memories when you're in first place, but you can slot a two-time All-Star into the closing position after getting rid of a three-time All-Star. The guy has just consistently done it, maybe in a little bit different fashion this year. It's been a few more pitches, but we're nitpicking. His numbers are unbelievable. He is going out there. Staying healthy is the biggest thing for him, and he's done it.
He's got one of the most trademark pitches in the game with the airbender. I'm sorry, though. Did I hear you say that he facilitated the Hader trade? Do you think that he called upstairs and said, I should be the damn closer, trade away my boy Josh?
Nope. But every time he went out there in the eighth inning, he said, I can do that.
Yeah.
Why don't you, it's just another inning. I can do that. Here, they'll still swing at the airbender in the ninth inning just the same as the eighth inning, and we can save a little bit of cashish to go out and get somebody else.
He was pissed along with everyone else when Josh was traded. That definitely affected the team on many levels. But, and we'll get to Corbin Burnes as that conversation comes up a little bit during the show in about 1 minute. The other thing, two things I wanted to shout out. One is, some calling for a late push for Christian Yelich to be an all-star. Sure, has a case. And overall, he's been to all-star games. He's won MVP. I don't think he really gives a shit. I think Yelly's going, okay, I'm finally making adjustments. He's getting more vocal about it, more confident about it. Got to get the baseball in the air because he hits the shit out of the ball. He's been doing that consistently. It's always been something that I don't want to say plagued him, but it's hitting the baseball on the ground too often, right? It's the launch angle conversation with him. It's like, dude, if he can just get a little more lift on this thing, it looks so different because he gets on base, he hits the ball hard, plays good D, he can run the bags. So that one missing link that really changes the complexion of his offensive profile looks like it's taking a turn again, which makes him a totally different ball player.
100% does. It makes somebody that is an elite bat to ball skills, which he's actually, with that bat to ball skills, he's upped his on base percentage, which is really lethal. And now he's starting to elevate the balls a little bit. If you remember back to 2018, he wasn't elevating the ball a ton until the All-Star break. It was the week going into the All-Star break. He was voted an All-Star, rightly so. And then he went off, hitting I think 400 in August and almost 400 in September. So if you're trending compared to 2018 with Yelly, lifting the ball, taking the same swings, his natural swing, because he has elite bat-to-ball skills, hand-eye coordination, that's just his natural swing. He's going to, it's going to be more line drive. There's going to be some harder hit ground balls. Elevating, when he starts elevating it, he's able to get on that front leg once that knee is completely healed like it is now. Scary canary for the second half.
Hell yes. I think Corbin Burnes is going to have a huge second half for this ball club as well. I think he is going to recalibrate a bit at the All-Star break and come out shoving in the second half of the season. So let's get to our conversation with Corbin Burnes right now.
Burnesy, where are you? Are you in prison?
Yes, basically. No, I'm in the tunnel here in Cleveland. It's the only place I can get a connection to talk and hear some stuff. So, shocker, Cleveland's got the AA Wi-Fi rolling.
Unbelievable. Hey, Corb, I want to talk to you about something that I love and enjoy. You got thrown out the other day. Now let me just review this toss here. You were arguing about calls a little bit, and then you got in the dugout. You said something. DJ Rayburn looks at you, and you give one of these, like what now? Take us through that whole situation because I thought it was great. You didn't, and then he ends up throwing you out because your shoulder shrugged. Then you started laughing loud like that. It was just the arrogance on your part was phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, so DJ had a tough game behind the plate.
There it
You know,
is.
I I didn't say anything to him the whole game. So I was for 6 innings. I didn't give him anything. He was giving me the cutter off the edge. So you know, not going to bitch too much about the stuff he was giving me below the zone. But you know, I ended up walking 4 guys that night, which I think was maybe a career high for me. So 2 of the walks should have been Ks, and so we could see every pitch he's missing, obviously on the iPad in between innings. So I'm not saying anything. He's giving me the cutter off the edge, and finally gets to the 6th inning, and he stops calling the cutter off the edge, and he's not giving me stuff at the bottom, and so it just kind of obviously boiled up there, and made the last out, made the sliding catch over the shoulder. No one likes to talk about the athletic play I made. They want to talk about the ejection, but you know, I spiked the ball, and when I stand up, he's like staring right at me, like he wanted it from the get go. Like he was just staring right at me as soon as I stood up. So I'm walking the field, I'm not going to say anything, and he's still looking at me. I was like, DJ, that's terrible. And he goes, what? He goes, I haven't missed a pitch all night. And then that's when I saw red.
No.
Like, really?
No.
Like, every umpire knows that, hey, there's some calls, hey, I might have missed this and that. But he was so adamant that he hadn't missed a single call. And that's where I hit him with, okay, well, DJ, that's terrible. We can see every pitch that you're missing in between innings on that iPad in there. And he goes, hey, you could take that iPad and shove it up your ass. And then so, yeah. So it you know, we had some words after that. Got into the dugout, and again saw the pitch that he had missed. Again, another strike. So I was like, you know, Counts came up to me, hey, you're done. I was at 98 pitches. Like, all right. I said, I'm getting tossed after this first pitch. First pitch, curveball. Again, not anywhere close to the zone. It was up and out, and I yelled at him, probably not. And he looked at me and goes, okay, now what? And I shrugged my shoulders like what? Like go like what? And I got nothing for you. It's probably not a strike. You know, it wasn't. And so he tossed me. And so then I laughed at him and said, hey, let me know how many calls you missed, you know, tomorrow at the game. And of course, that was the first game of a 4-game series, and you know, he didn't even look in the dugout or try to talk to me at all. And it's funny, all the guys in the clubhouse the next day were pulling up his rating that you see on Twitter, and it was one of the worst in like 4 or 5 years. So, but hey, he didn't miss a call. So,
yeah, but here's my thing. An umpire can say that to you. Why don't you take that and shove it up your ass? But if you were to say that back to him, then you're getting tossed and probably, you know, fined even more. So that bothers me for one. And you give a shoulder shrug like Michael Jordan after he hit 6 threes. Like, what now? Oh, no, you ain't MJ. Get going. Like, where's the disconnect here? Is what I'm saying. Like, that would bother me even more.
Yeah, the umpires have tough nights, and that was just one of them. And apparently, the shoulder shrug is what sent him over the edge. And the funny part was after that game was in Zach Brown had their concert on the field for the ALS awareness. And so the umpires stayed after the game to watch the concert as well, like we did. So Wade Miley was going back and forth and just stirring shit up. Like, hey, DJ, did you really tell him to shove the iPad up his ass? And DJ's laughing. And, you know, just like, this guy knew that he had a bad night, and he was out there enjoying the concert, doing whatever. So, like, whatever. It's over with.
Hey, you know I'm going to be the first one to come on here and compliment you. So, absolutely, that was such a great catch. Even better spike in the end zone after you caught it. That was good. But I need to take that hat off for a second. I need you to take the hat off.
You're the first one to spot it.
OMG. You are dreamy. Yep. I mean, are you a rookie now? I mean, are you?
I lost 5 years with a haircut.
Absolutely. Those arbitration numbers are skyrocketing right now.
Eyebrows, too. Look at the eyebrows.
I mean, you shaped the eyebrows up.
I was going to shave the beard off and go completely clean shaven and short hair, but then they might have cut me if they saw the new guy trying to get on the bus, and so I left the beard.
No. They wouldn't have cut you because the Brewers just keep calling up all the rookies. So they would have been like, oh, yeah, here's our new guy, Corbin Burnes.
Here's the guy.
And hey, if you shave the beard off, and now that you shave the hair off, the eyebrows are looking tight, are you going back to the goggles? Are you going back to the glasses?
No, that's what everyone asks. Is that are the goggles coming back out? I said, no. So the goggles was a 1-year thing. Look what happened. 18, great year. Wore the goggles out in 19 and got my shit wrecked. So the goggles are no more.
the goggles got trashed, and now it's all just contacts.
Yeah. And I got LASIK surgery. I full and win it. I had it all completely done. So I don't even own a pair of glasses anymore. It's great.
Nice. Good for you. And you probably and you don't have to hit anymore, so who cares if the LASIK didn't work? You just don't have your nerd goggles anymore. But the question that I have is, did you think about going to Weimer's guy when it was time to cut it off?
I thought about it. I thought about doing the whole mullet, but I'd already told the guys, like, hey, if we get to the postseason, like, I'll shave it for a mullet. So at least I've got 2 months. I can get some decent length back. That if we get to the postseason, we need that stretch run. I'll shave it for a mullet for the postseason.
Love it. Love it.
Yep.
I feel like the haircut changes the mojo a little bit. I know you mentioned the series you've got in Cleveland right now, and I know there's some background noise. You did an excellent job finding the Wi-Fi signal. But what is just the feeling you guys have right now, trying to get through the series against a team that's also kind of in a similar spot, scuffling and just trying to get ahead?
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to find that that mojo that we had in April. Obviously, that was when we were playing the best, offensively, defensively, on the mound. So just trying to get it figured out. We've got a lot of great players in the clubhouse, and it's been kind of a streaky time that we have guys go off and guys are struggling. So just all about getting together, hanging on while we can, knowing that hey, at some point it's all going to click. Hopefully, this could be the series against the Indians or Guardians. Sorry. So we've got a 10-day roadie now all on the East Coast. So hopefully this 10-day East Coast swing can kickstart us and we can get back into first place.
Hey, question for you here. I want to go to an article I read the other day with Ken Ravizza, the late Ken Ravizza, mental skills coach, and it brought up in the article about you going back to the basics, really waking up, making your bed, and just getting that first win. Can you explain that to some people exactly what that is? And, so I don't sound a little crazy what I'm talking about, making someone's bed, but honestly, getting prepared for the day and getting after it a little bit so you can get your mind right.
Yeah, I mean, so the easiest task to do in the morning is wake up and make your bed. If you can wake up, make your bed, you start stacking tasks and wins on top of each other. So when you get to the field, you've got this, base and foundation of, hey, I've made my bed, I brushed my teeth, I picked up my bedroom, cleaned up the kitchen, whatever it may be. You stack these wins and tasks on top of each other. So when you get to the field, you have this momentum, you have this mindset of, hey, what am I going to do at the field to win today? So get in and, for me today, it's, go in and get a good upper body lift and go out and get a good catch play and go do some drive work on the mound. So like you wake up, you make your bed, that kind of kickstarts your day, and you start stacking these wins on each other. So when the end of the day rolls around, you're like, hey, I had a productive day. I can, lay my head on the pillow at night and, rest easy and wake up and do it again tomorrow. And
I think what people don't understand too as well, the mental side of this sport is so hard to grasp because you're playing 162 games. You have at least 30 to 35 games in spring training. There's a lot of ups and downs. And for you and for people and young kids out there to think about getting a win from Jump Street, waking up in bed. I mean, how many kids do make their bed? I know my kids don't do it. I know they're not brushing their teeth until I tell them. So it's something as simple as that to get your day going and get your mind in the right path. I think kudos to you because that's a really interesting feat.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, it's a long season. You're going to go through months where you're not feeling great, on the mound, at the plate, defensively, whatever it may be. But if you can wake up and continue to stack wins and, track your progress through the day, whether it's through your journal, whatever it is, when you look back at the end of the month, say, I had a tough month, but I'm in a good spot. I've been, killing it in the weight room. I've been killing it in the cage. I've been killing it in the bullpen, whatever it may be. You see the light at the end of the tunnel, knowing that, hey, it's going to turn around. And in a 6-month season, 2 months of spring training and, a month of postseason, it's a really long season. So just knowing that, hey, one bad month, one bad week isn't going to completely derail your season because you're waking up and doing what you can every day.
Let's be honest. Bad months for Corbin Burnes or Borbin Kearns, whichever name you're going with the new look. A bad month for you is like some people are looking around like, am I an all-star? Like your expectations and what you've set are so high. What would be a successful season with your new mindset from here on out for you?
Yeah, so for me, my goal at the beginning of every year is health. If I can be healthy the entire season, I'm making 32, 33 starts, and that gives me the opportunity to be on the field and do what I can do. If I can't, be healthy and be on the mound, I can't go out and try to win games for the team, whatever it is. So, bless you. So for me, if I can be if I could be healthy, making 32, making 33 starts, giving the team a chance to win every single day, then I know that the work I put in the offseason, the work I put in the 5 days leading up to my start, I know that I can go out there and have success and do what I do. So the only way that I could do that is health. So that's my goal every year. That's my goal in between every start, is make sure I'm recovering, make sure I'm healthy to be out there and give all that I can for 6, 7, 8 innings, whatever it may be for that day. But health is the number one priority for me.
Corbin, I'm curious how you're able to use that training that you have on the mental side and then also putting it into practice to also try to figure out how to either block out the noise that you think it might be when it comes to hearing your name pop up from fans and media when it comes to trade rumors or that possibility, and then also still trying to focus and do your job at this time and in the next few weeks.
Yeah, so for me, that goes back to one of the things that I started working on from the beginning with the mental side of it is the controllables. I know that what people say, what the rumors are, even what other teams are doing against me. I know that I can't control any of that. What I can control is wake up in the morning, making my bed, giving my best effort that day, getting the work done in the weight room, getting the work done in catch play, just doing what I can to make myself available every 5 days. And then also when I get out there, it's not worrying about what umpires are doing, what the hitters are doing against me. So it's trying to execute as many pitches as I can and controlling the things that I can. And at the end of the day, if something else happens that's out of my control, then you just have to shrug it off and go with it. And if that means getting a trade, getting beat up on the mound that day, whatever it is, you live to survive another day and just to get back after it.
All right, so you brought up those trades. Here's my trade. I know I've talked about this on the show, but back in 18, when you were a rookie and Big Woo was still rookie, you came up and then Big Woo was trying to solidify himself. They came to me and asked me, and I didn't know who Keston Hiura was. I think it was Keston Hiura who they were going to throw in, but they said, would you trade Corbin Burnes and Big Woo for Jacob deGrom? They asked me this, and I was like in the org for like 2 minutes. Would you have made that trade if you were the owner of Corbin Burnes and Brandon Woodruff? Would you have made that trade for Jacob deGrom on a rental?
I don't know. I mean, with the amount of years that me and Woody still were going to have, obviously you don't know what we were going to do at the big league level, but I think the value that we had brought to that team in 2018, I think it would have been a really tough decision to trade us to away. We were the guys that were coming in kind of the 6th, 7th inning and bridging it to JJ and Hader and Knebel. So, to lose both of us to get a starting pitcher as a rental, I think would have been a difficult decision. But I mean, at that time he was one of the best starters in the game. So I think at that time you probably think, hey, we're either win-win. We keep these two guys, or we get the best starter in the game. Looking back on it with the injuries he's had. It probably would have changed their decision now, but that's a tough one. It's if you're asking me right now, with the starting rotation we have, I would probably say that we would stand pat and keep the bullpen help and keep those extra innings versus selling out for one starting pitcher.
I have to say that I said no, but I definitely thought about it, and I'm glad because I make a lot of wrong decisions. Just ask my kids that I make mistakes all the time, but I said no, don't trade them. But it was really close. I have to be honest.
And that's why he's still there.
That's why he's still there, so fighting with the team in arbitration.
Because of you.
Yeah. Because of me. Sorry, Cor.
Yeah, thanks, Kratzy. Shit.
Sorry, man.
Hey, did you play in the Phoenix Pro-Am with Cam Davis and Bubba Watson in February?
Yep. I played in that a couple years now.
How cool is that, man? I would love to do something. Me and Kratz have been waiting.
For sure.
Hey, just so you know, you're not going to what is it? Trout National before us. Just so you know, we're going to make sure.
He's definitely invited before us. We're schmucks now.
Hey, that's my guy. If he doesn't give me a call or give me a membership, you and me are going down by yourself. Talk to us about playing with professionals. I would say you hit 196 mile an hour one time. Was it straight, right, left? How'd you hit it?
Yeah, so the first year I played it was 2 years ago. We played with Bubba on the back nine. So the pro-am, you get paired up with two pros, one on the front, one on the back. And so we played with we played with Bubba the second. I can't remember who we played with on the front nine, but we played with Bubba on the back nine. And if anyone's ever knows Bubba, he kind of keeps to himself a little bit, and everyone thinks he's kind of a douche because he doesn't like to talk to anyone. And so, my goal was, hey, when we play with Bubba Watts on the back nine, I'm gonna get this guy to open up. And so immediately I just started talking shit to him. Like I was just letting him have it. Him and his caddy. His caddy was loving it. So finally Bubba opened up to me, and we had great conversations the rest of the way. But he was amazed with how far I could hit it. And yeah, one of those the 18th hole, they had the TrackMan set up, and I think I had a 197 ball speed, and he was basically like, look, like that's going to outdrive 98% of guys on the tour. Like I put on an absolute clinic that day with the driver. So that's why I got invited back the next year with the guy that has the foursome, just mainly to hit the shit out of the driver and let them play from 50 yards away from the green. But yeah, those guys they're unbelievable. This year I played with Patrick Cantlay on the front nine, and I mean the guy is absolute nails with the putter. I think he had 10 putts on the front nine and shot 6 or 7 under. This is a practice round, no pressure on. And these guys, I mean, they absolutely just tear up this golf course. So it's unbelievable to play with these guys and just to talk to them. Just obviously we know what goes on in our 162 game season, but the amount of travel these guys have, and the amount of they spend basically a full week in the city and the practice rounds and the working out and the amount of hours on the practice range, like those guys, they may have it tougher as far as we do, as far as the amount of hours they're putting in. But it's just unbelievable the skill level that those guys have.
What's your handicap?
Right now, I'm probably a 2 or 3 right now. It's on the high side.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Have you heard of Whit Merrifield's tournament? Have you heard about that? Have you gotten an invitation yet?
I heard him talk about it. No, I haven't received the invite yet, but that'd be fun for sure.
We'll get. Hang on one second. Hey, Whit, Corbin Burnes wants to come and take your cash, so you better invite him. I need to get you. We'll make sure the people behind the scenes here hook you guys up. You won't get an email because you're a big leaguer. The minor leaguers and the guys who aren't playing anymore, they get emails, but you'll get a cool invitation.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it. It's fun.
Last thing, when you get it was your first time you were ejected, right? If I recall.
Yep.
So I frame mine in my bathroom down here in my batting cage. So highlight what you said. There are going to be some choice words. Eric loves going down there and doing what he does in the bathroom and telling me about it. So highlight it, make it nice and neat somewhere. So when people come in the house, they have something to read and you'll get a good laugh. You'll hear people laughing in the bathroom for no reason.
I'm gonna have to do that. I mean, so Kratz, here's a good story for you. I came in after I got ejected. I was told I had to leave the dugout. I was down in the clubhouse in Cincy, and Chager walks by, and Chager said, "Hey, good game, whatever." And then, like, the game ends, and Chager goes, "Hey, you were ejected?" I was like, "Chager, do you pay attention to the game when you're down here? Like, will you quit playing with your hair or whatever you do it in the meantime?" Like, "Yeah, dude, I got ejected. It's my first career ejection. Like, what are you gonna get me?" He's like, "Oh, nice, sick, congrats." And I didn't get anything for it.
Come on, Chager, one time.
Yeah.
I mean, every time we have a brewer on, Chager comes on, and Chager's like one of these Sarah Lang tweets. It's like Chager's here, and then he's like, wee, and then he's here. He's losing Big Woo's home run bat from the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now he's not getting to use something. Like, Chager's going to be on this show. I say it every time. You need to bring him on, and his weird little ponytail, since you don't have a ponytail anymore. You can play with his hair.
Yeah, I'll have to talk to him. We got to get Chager straightened out. He's definitely declining over the years. He's getting real show, getting real comfortable. So we'll have to set him straight.
Thank you so much, Corbin Burnes. We appreciate it, and we of course thank you for being on Foul Territory and going the extra mile to find the good Wi-Fi signal. Nice haircut too. We appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Yep, awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thanks to Corbin for swinging by, and also keep the hair the way it is, because it definitely worked since he's made the change. Just saying.
Happy haircut.
Happy haircut to you. And happy re-debut for Jahmai Jones, who signs with the ball club. He was, swinging all around, getting picked up, coming off the big injury. Brewers go, "All right, we need you, dude." And he's like, "Great, you need me? How badly?" Because first pitch, I'm going to have one of the best swings of the year for the Brewers in a huge comeback win for them over Chicago. Down 6-0. They end up winning 8-6. He has the huge dub for the team. That's a really great story for a Milwaukee team that is kind of thin at times on offense and needs these kind of comeback situations to have wins that maybe they shouldn't have won, right? Like, this is a game where they're down 6-0. 99% of the time you're not coming back, and Jahmai Jones saves the day for them. And dude, you never expected to be back on the team.
one swing, one at bat, and I don't mean to use a dad pun here, but he was jonesing for an opportunity to get back into big leagues. He was raking in the minor leagues, wasn't getting an opportunity where he's at, signed with the Brewers, got an opportunity in his first pitch he saw. He was ready for that. He was sitting in the dugout the whole game, got his hit, and then he got to sit in the dugout the rest of the game. 3 steaks on one swing. That's how you make your presence felt back in the big leagues.
Hell yeah. And you're allowed. You get one dad joke.
That's right.
Your kids told me that he gets one per show.
I'll use it.
Okay. Now put it away. You don't want to take it home with you, so you used it. We got Josh Hader on the show. Yes, this is a Padre on Brew Crew Territory, and I think any Brewers fan would want to hear what Josh had to say about the trade from last year.
But it's got to be a Brewers hat.
It's got to be a Brewers hat. We're all Brewers because Hader's on,
Brewers.
man. That's my guy.
Brewers, man.
Sticking
I'm a
outdoors
Padre now, baby. What it do, fellas? How you guys doing?
Dude, great. Can you explain what's that? Start with that.
Stricken
What is
Outdoors
what?
is what I'm
Stricken
saying.
Outdoors.
Go ahead.
Stricken Outdoors is like a hunting company that me and a couple buddies started. We like film our hunts throughout the off season, and we came up with a little name, had some merch, and did all that. So it was like a cool little thing that, you know, obviously we're playing baseball all the time, and they were back home working, and it's just like something that we just could do something together, obviously, and share our passion of hunting. So it was it's fun. It's exciting too.
That's awesome. No, we'll plug that. I didn't know about that. And sorry, this just got in our way.
Whoa, that just popped up out of nowhere. Yeah,
That's your butt. I'm touching your butt right now.
yeah. You know what's crazy is that if you go lower, I'm like off the ground by like 3 feet as well. Like, just like I felt like a little kid. Just like, oh, they didn't. Thank gosh, they didn't add that part in there.
I lifted him up after. I gotta get rid of this because it's so big. It's a great gift. It's a great gift from Hader.
Did he give
That's
you
why
that?
he gave it. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
You and the wifey. One day after the season, I show up. I'm gonna probably rip it here if I don't.
No, you're good.
Okay.
There it is.
One day after the season, I show up, or my wife's at home, Sarah's at home, and she's like, babe, there's a huge package at the front door. I'm like, wow, babe. Okay, I'll check it out. And she was calling me on the phone, and she goes, it's really big. I don't want to open it. Like, what if something like breaks? I was like, I have no idea. Hader didn't tell me nothing like this. And this huge, it's like 4 foot, 5 foot tall. It's a picture of me and Hader. Such an awesome gift. You and the wife, I mean, it's centerpiece in the basement. I built the whole basement around it.
I love it. No, I mean, I think that was a special moment for us. Obviously, you know, being in Denver and cold and moving on in playoffs. Playoffs is a hard thing to do in professional sports, especially baseball. And, you know, I had a great time with you and just the mentor that you were to me as a pitcher and that battery connection. I was like, Maria and I were just talking like, what could we do? Like, just to kind of remember that moment, but also, you know, remember obviously the career you had. So I thought that was a special moment.
For sure. I don't have any, but nobody's painted a picture of me and sent it to me. So I seriously, like, I really appreciate it. I sent both of you guys texts. It's so awesome. It was a great run. And for me, I'm like, I should have quit that year. But my question is, have you had anybody else that you've bought a painted picture for? Because it's going to make it feel a little... Nobody?
No painted pictures, nope.
Tell Maria thank you. It means even more now.
Yeah, that's what we try to do, make it special, you know? It's I think the baseball world is a unique experience because you meet so many different people, so many different families, and when you become, you know, spend so much time with each other, I think that was something that we show our appreciation just from you and your family and how great you guys are.
Hader, did you see that Burnesy cut his hair? And do you feel have you reached out to him about it? And do you feel like he could have sent me some of that and made a wig out of it?
I'm sure he could have definitely made a wig out of it for you. Yeah, I saw. I didn't message him because I knew we're no longer the Flow Bros anymore. We had a T-shirt that said Flow Bros, and he cut it off, and I was like, oh man, that's tough. It reminds me of the 2018 Corbin Burnes when I met him in the dugout when he got called up. I was like, dang, that's Burnsy now. That's young Burnsy. Now we just need the Oakley glasses.
That's why I asked him when he was on. I was like, dude, you gonna get those Oakleys back on? Because he has some thick frames. He was like Joe Paterno, like blind, like can't see anything.
Yeah, I remember. Those things were the worst, though. He put me on the LASIK train, and I was like, thank gosh, like, because that was game changing.
While we're on the Brewers, you did get kind of surprisingly traded from there last year, maybe. So who's it going to be this year that they Burnes, Woodruff, Yelich? I don't know.
I am not sure. If it was me, I'd ride it out to the end of the year. But I don't get paid to do those big boy moves. I get paid to stay on the field and do my job. So I would think they'd keep Burnsy and Yelly. I don't think they would trade. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. That's the crazy time about baseball is when you get towards end of July and they start making some deals.
Do you feel that? Do you feel the same thing with the Padres? Like you're not quite there yet. It's like you'll go to the All-Star game. Sorry, you don't ever get any All-Star breaks because you're so freaking good. You always have to go to those games. But are you sitting there like as a pot? Like, are you sitting there in July 20th and like, oh boy, all right, trade deadline. Here we go.
No, not at all.
Not at all?
I mean,
even after last year, where like it was kind of sneaky McSneakerson?
I mean, I can't control it, right? So I don't worry about like things I can't control. I mean, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. It's not like I'm going to get a heads up like, hey, you're going to get traded in 2 days. And then it's like more like 10 minutes. Hey, you just got traded now. Right, now get out of here. So it's not like I can change anything if I knew it anyway. So just ride with it.
So you can't change anything. How was it for you and Maria last year? Because I moved 94 times in my life before I quit baseball. So how was now you've been traded a lot, but now you guys are family style. Maria is like, I don't know. I asked you guys one time if you guys ever argue because neither you guys you're both so freaking nice, but now you got a kid. Is there arguments now? Like, was there arguments? Like, wait a minute, you got traded? I'm not going. No chance. I'm staying at home. You go play the season. How was that? How was it like moving your family?
Special shout out to the agency. CAA really helped her out, especially. I was in Pittsburgh. We had an off day, so I got traded. And I was on a flight literally in 3 hours after that. So I wasn't able to go back home, help her out, pack or anything like that. So Sean came in and helped her out, flew her out with her because we had the dogs and Lucas, and he was probably, I want to say he was like 4 weeks old.
Yeah, he was.
So I mean, if it wasn't for him, I don't know how she would have done it, but it was definitely that was probably the most stressful time just because you can't help her. You have no hands in the game. So for them to be able to help her out was definitely a big part.
Okay, big 6-game series coming up for the Milwaukee Brewers. Sure, there's an all-star break in between it, but they take 3 against Cincinnati before the break and then 3 more against Cincinnati after the break in a 6-game stretch against the team that they're battling with in the division. Who was wrong on this, right? Didn't everyone say it's Reds Brewers slugfest right around the All-Star break? Circle the calendar. These 6 games could be very critical, not just in deciding the division, Kratzy, because I don't want to go that far down yet, but how about where these teams weigh their own status heading into the trade deadline too, as we get closer to that time period? Because if one of these teams takes 4, maybe even 5 or 6 out of 6, it's a very different looking division.
It is going to be cutthroat the whole time. It is going to be the Brewers going up. It's going to be the Reds coming back. It's going to be the Brewers late, leaning on Devin Williams. It's going to be a great season defining. I would say season defining group of games, because exactly right. Like if the Brewers drop a few, they're going to be selling and the Reds are going to be buying. Not saying that the Reds are going to be buying what the Brewers are selling, but it is defining. It's going to put teams in situations when it's also going to show them where their deficiencies are, because they're going to be chasing each other all the way down to the end, no matter what happens in this 6-game stretch. This spot here and there, they're going to be battling each other the rest of the way, and I'm here for it.
I am too. I'm watching every game, and then we'll report back. Okay, so thanks for swinging by on Brew Crew Territory. For Kratz, I'm Braun. Thanks to Burnes and Hader for joining us for this week's episode. And if you're watching this right now on YouTube and you're traveling and you want to get involved audio-wise, Apple, Spotify, subscribe. It's free $99. It's free to listen to Brew Crew Territory every week. We'll see you for the next one.